Good evening, one and all present here. I'm very proud to welcome you to this webinar series on positive leadership by KS School of Business Management. I hope you, as well as your loved ones, are safe and healthy at home. Yesterday, we had a very fruitful and informative webinar session on human resources and the trends and changes in human resources space. In today's session, our objective is to learn about information technology enabled services and how to excel in a career in IT. We have amongst us a very prominent speaker today, Vatsal Shah, Mr. Vatsal Shah, who is also part of our institute, alumni of our institute, and was part of the 1999 to 2004 batch. Mr. Vatsal is a prominent speaker, business coach, and mentor, transforming and providing growth to various individuals and organizations by creating an inner drive in them. He is also the founder and owner of Pragmatic Consultancy, founded in 2008, and has also founded two more e-commerce startups. As a business coach, Mr. Vatsal has helped scale up and transform more than 57 enterprises from various fields such as information technology, manufacturing, retail, and also e-commerce space, and has trained more than 5,900 people and 162 CEOs. Mr. Vatsal also won the Mentor of the Year award in 2019, and also he was also won the Excellence in Business Transformation at World Leadership Federation event in Mumbai in 2016. He was also invited at IIM Udaipur by an entrepreneurship cell as a mentor. Without taking much time, I would like to hand over the platform to Mr. Vatsal and enlighten us in today's session. Thank you.
Hi everyone. What all you have heard is don't go by that. I'm basically a student and lifelong learner. I thank KS School for inviting me as a talker, and it's always a privilege to give back to the institute where you have studied in your life. So if I say in a simpler way, I was a commerce student, ended up into Y2K problem. In 1999, I joined KS School of Management, went into MSc IT, completed 5 years, and somewhere I found in my journey that changes are possible and there are various career opportunities are there. And since 10 years, I am helping IT companies and digital agencies grow from small to big, say from the single floor company to multinational companies, or few $1 million company to multi-million dollar companies. So, this journey started as a faculty and teacher at KS School of Management itself. In 2004, my first job was taking a session in KS for the next batch, which is studying into the KS. And then from the faculty, I started working into the IT companies. And then again, destiny took me to the teaching job. Now I teach business owners. Earlier, I used to teach to the students. So I am one of you, and don't hesitate in asking questions about IT industry. I work closely with IT industry in all the domains, whether it is cloud computing, whether it is AR, VR, or it is an e-commerce or mobile, whatsoever it is, your all questions I will try to resolve. I will wrap up my talk faster so that we can have more time available for the Q&A, which can help you excel in your career. To talk with you, I have just created a guideline, which is a presentation, small points. Let me go through that so that we can interact in a better manner. So today our domain and focus is more towards how to excel your career in IT. So first, it is interesting point to understand that who we are. Are we an industry or we are a supportive function? When I was in the KS, I never understood that IT is a supportive industry and it empowers rest of the industries. IT is never counted as industry, as a standalone. We believe that IT industry is growing into the India. We read a lot of news. We also look at the companies like TCS, Capgemini, HCL, Infosys, Mindtree, growing from small to big, and then doing great work across the globe. But now, when you look at what they are doing or what we are serving, so it's an interesting question. IT is always has been empowering different other industries. So IT is always ITES, IT enabled services, and that is a huge market for it. Some people overlap BPO, KPO also with the IT. But if you look at IT as a spectrum, it has some different dimensions. Nowadays, IT is into almost everything. So IT is adding as a suffix. So if you are avid reader on internet, and you have been looking at blogs or the content coming on the screen, you will find that edutech startups are there, social tech startups are there, farm tech are there, fintech are there. So whenever you say tech is always a suffix, and then the industry or core domain is always a prefix. So here we have to understand that we are a support function to many industries, instead considering that IT is an independent industry. And when I was studying in the KS, I never understood this. It's always with the experience we learn and understand how it functions. So the people who are either maybe from the MBA, fire integrated course, or people who are from MSCIT, fire integrated course, it is important that we look at that if we choose a domain, which domain we are entering into. Are we adding into a tech and empowered startup or a tech company? There are some tech companies out there who make their own products, but what happens is it is still not an industry. It is still a domain. And to make a particular business as an industry, what you need to do is you have to solve the problem of the society, or you have to bring some offering to the world. Instead, what we have been doing is we are bringing offerings for those businesses. So IT is more towards business to business sell. It is never business to consumer sell. What happens is whenever we make a software, or whenever we make any application, or whenever we make a solution, or maybe ERP, whom we are serving is businesses. So when you are dealing as an IT salesperson, or you are looking from the perspective of IT owner, what we serve is other businesses and the mass by and large as end consumers. So we empower other industries instead of looking at ourselves as an industry. Now, taking step ahead, you have to look at what kind of career path you can take on, because our session is focused towards how to excel your career into the IT. So if you look at, there are major two categories. Either you will go for job or business, and then some other flavors are there. So when you look at IT as a career path, and when you look at the jobs around IT, so you will find there are two major sides. One is technical side and second is business side. I won't mind cracking a joke that there are many people like me who are not that efficient in code, but they are efficient maybe in a talk, or understanding the business or a solution, or writing a diagram, or connecting the gap, what client needs and what software can do. So in IT also, you will find there are two different variations. One is business side and second is technical side. Being a commerce student till 12th and entering into the MSCIT, what I understood is in the second year of college itself, that I have to be on the second side. I have to go on a business side instead of technical side. It was not just because that my programs were not running into the lab. It was because of I was not enjoying that much. So one thing I understood that I will not spend my whole life coding. At the same time, some of my friends were there, they were geek, and then they understood that the coding is their life, and still they are coding. And then they enjoy writing the softwares, and then when their software scales up, they feel great. So they love to interact with the systems. And exactly opposite, some people like me would love to interact with the people and then the consumers instead of talking to a code in binary. So you will always find there are two sides. In technology also, when we do job, there are two different scale or the skills are there, which is never explained when the age group is say between say 18 years to 24 years. When we go into the industry, then we realize this. On the technical side also, there are further two bifurcations are there. There are some set of people who do coding and then who do development. And then there is another set which actually plan what to code, how to code, what could be the structure. This comes with an experience, but I wish that some of you who are looking for a longer run technical career should look at, or an architectural side, or system development or system design side. I understand that many of the students who are taught SAD as a subject, system analysis and design, or software engineering as a subject, consider that as a theory and don't like it. But at the same time, if you want to look at architectural role at a longer run, that is the core subject will come into the play. And then most common, which is very popular also, I would say 80-90% of kids coming out of college would look at the development side as their career, because the industry where we are, or you can say the market where we are, what happens is people start as a trainee, then they act as a junior developer, then they become a developer. After a few years, they become project leader or a coordinator, then they become a project manager, and then they become a delivery manager, and some people start their own firm. Exactly opposite, there are some people who don't go into this hierarchy. What they look at is they start as a developer, then they become a junior technical analyst, then they become a tech analyst, then they become a solution architect, and then they get into the role where they define the system, that what will be connected to what. And based on the plan they create, developers do coding, and then they bring the solution or the software on the screen. I would say both the jobs are very important and critical. It connect this with the construction line. Architect role and builder's role, both are important and both are critical. So architects are the one who design the structures and then plan the structures, and then they define what to do, when to do, how to do. And then the developers are the one who does the thing actually and building it up. So you have to choose what kind of career path you want to go ahead. If you look at the traditional companies in India, you will always find you get an opportunity of the first one, developer, senior developer, project coordinator, project manager, and go on. But if you are keen about, or you are wondering about, okay, how the systems work, how I will integrate system with different sections, or how I will scale it up, or how I design the skeleton of it, then you are more of a tech guy. Then look for the opportunities where you can create a technical life, or become a technical analyst or solution architect at a longer run. Now I will go to the second facet, which is called business side. Now business side is quite interesting. I have found that some people get into a role of sales and marketing after completing of their masters in IT, or you can say BCA, MCA, MTech, or MSc IT. Why? Because they are the one who love talking. They are the one who are the showstoppers in the college events. They are the presenters. Somebody introduced me like this. They go on talks with the sessions. And what happens is they are more of talking guys. Instead of systems, they love human beings. So what they do is they can interact with the customer, gather the requirement, understand it, and then they can negotiate, and then they bring the business. Now this role can be done by MBA students as well. But if it is done by MSc IT student, there are pros and cons of both the sides. If MSc IT student go for sales and marketing job in IT company, they will be knowing what they are selling. I always believe to become a successful salesman, you have to sell like a Eureka of salesman. Why? Because you know how machine operates. If non-techie salesman is there, what they will do is they will understand client's pain area and they will pitch solution, but they don't know how that solution works. We have to teach them how the demo of software works, how the business flow in the software journey will work. So when it comes to talking to the customer or demo of ready product, they are fine. But when it comes to consulting client on IT front, on defining client solution based on the client requirement, which is an outsourcing industry, which is predominantly in India, they fail. They need a technical support or assistance there. So somebody who is doing MSc IT, flamboyant in a conversation, or knows how to communicate or convince people, or have a great negotiation skill, must eye a career of sales and marketing for IT domain. Why? Because you already have acumen, you already know what IT systems are, and then you are able to present that well because you have finished in a conversation. So in my personal life, what I did is I choose this path, and I started my first job as a professor in the KS, and then the next full-time assignment which I took was a business analyst. What I was doing is being a techie guy who understands business and also having a communication skills and certifications. What I did is I was trying to go on client calls. I was understanding what they are looking for. I was trying to draw a map of it, skeleton of it, convert into the proposals and the scope of work. And based on that, sales used to happen, and then development team used to do a coding. So to run an IT company, you need critically two components. One is people to do it, so that is developers, and second, somebody who can bring business to them. So there is a sales team. So after doing MSc IT, if you want to create an excellent career, these are the two things you can look at. And if you are from MBA and if you still want to get into the IT, so it's important that you first have a know-how of what things are going on into the market, how to do IT sales, how to convince outsourcing clients, how this IT industry or the norms are, the way you sell in IT has to be learned. And then once you are there, you can start working on it. So it will be a longer route for I would say people who have done MBA marketing to get into IT sales. It will be a bit shorter route for MSc IT students who have a great communication skills. I have seen that some people who have a clarity in the mind that one day I will be a business owner, or I am there to interact with the client and define solutions. They should look at or wait for a chance where they get into a shoes of business analyst or the technical analyst. It is tough to get a job as a fresher into that profile, but you can wait for it if possible and you can afford. But if you start there, it will create miracles, because it's not. I'm not saying because it worked for me, but I can see that it makes a lot of difference. What happens is you become odd man out. So if you look at the 100% pie chart of people coming out of KS, for example, MSCID, I would say 60-70% will go on being a developer. 10 to 15% will switch to another industry or maybe joining father's business or may not work, or only few percent of people who will be going on the business side. So it's important that if you feel that it is the right destiny for you, you should think of it. Another career path we can look at is a business. So nowadays I have seen that Generation Z, which is the people who have got birth after year 2000, which is majorly you guys, post-millennial generation. So they have a lot of patience. They work with the morals and ethics more, and they look at slow and steady career building. So in that case, if you are feeling that okay, you are able to sense a problem into the market, and if you feel that I want to solve that problem and I want to start a startup or I want to get into a tech startup, it is also a great destiny to create for yourself. But it needs a lot of commitment from your side and also from your family side, because I understand that when you come out in India at 22, and then the whole world is waiting that okay, ye banda abhi kya karega? So what my kid or like son or daughter will do. So it is also a pressure when you come out. That pressure starts building up when you end your fourth year, and you start feeling okay, after a year you will be into the market. So it's also a point where we try to think that okay, I need to prove myself. And at that time, if you are thinking of a startup starting on your own, it needs different kind of courage. But if you have a great idea, you should look at IT cell, where you will find mentors or coaches like me, and then you can validate your idea. You can pitch your idea to different people. You can make a solution out of it. You can get your developers friend who can code it, or you can hire some people who can do it. It needs some money, I understand. Bootstrapping a startup is always tough, and having early success is even tougher. Unless you get early success, what happens, you don't get investment rounds. So people who are into the college and thinking that okay, college dropouts create great career, sorry, it's not the right thing. We read only few stories which is successful. We don't see the rest which is not successful. So I suggest that here you should, if you have an idea in your mind, you should not give it up. But the point is you have to get it validated and work harder for it, so that you run your IT startup well. And once it is done, what happens is you can scale it up to the sky. So sky is the limit. At the same time, sometimes startups don't find even on earth. So what happens is the failure ratio is too high. So either you will go on sky or you will not be there. So you have to see that how you find your destiny. Some of my batchmates, I would say we were the second batch of MSCID. What we found is some of the batchmates found that IT is not the right industry for them, because when we came out in 2004, IT was all time down, and we came out in a recession. So the stipend which you are looking for from IT companies to start as a trainee, that was the amount we were paid as a salary. That was the scenario when we came up. Now when we look at, many people opted out that okay, I don't want to get into IT. Some of my friends got into say government jobs. Some have applied for IAS. Some people went abroad and settled down and started their own store or a company. Some of them have joined their father's business into the manufacturing or chemical and so on. So there are some people, even though they complete MSc IT or whatever education qualifications they keep on adding, they choose non-IT as an industry to start their work. And it is not wrong. Let me tell you one thing. I have shifted my industry 4 times in my career. Every time what I have found or understood is what I studied at the college has always helped me one or other way. Right now I'm doing business coaching and training to IT companies, but my IT basics and fundamentals I have learned at KS. So I will always attribute my success back to the college. So what you are learning there will not, it is not a waste. Even though you get into non-IT business, you will find something to automate there. You will find something to bring as a software there. You will always find digital acumen there, and you will transform that business into the multiple folds. If you're running your father's business, you will put it in e-commerce or digital sales. So though you chose, if you feel that I don't want to get into IT and I have to get out of it, some people realize that in the college that okay, I'm in a wrong, I would say a wrong profession. I have to change it. So if you choose non-IT, that is also fine. Very few people, I would say only 1 or 2 I have found into the college in my batch. I'm not sure the current scenario. They are interested in research or academics. So they choose that I want to become a professor or a lecturer into the same college, and then they want to go into the research, and they want to write white papers, they want to write scholar papers, present across the globe, study more. So academics is also one of the profession you can choose, and then it is certainly a good profession to have. Otherwise, you won't have a professors teaching you. So being one of the faculty in the KS and also into the many business schools, what I learned is academics is also a good way to create your own successful career. But it needs a lot of patience and it needs a different flavor to become an academician, because you are talking to the mass who never like you because you give them assignments, you are a tough teacher, or you demand a lot of things out of them. The way you have studied, I have also studied in the college and I have also been a student. So I understand what we tell to our professors when they give a lot of work to us and then they be bad to us. So the same thing is a faculty you will have to face, because you will be finding 200 students like you into the classroom and you will be teaching them. So you have to understand it is a different hassle you have to go through, and you have to upgrade yourself. At the same time, your career growth will be lesser than IT company employees growth. So for example, if you get into the IT sales or IT development, and if you be a faculty, you cannot compare both the careers. Why? Because academics is the one which builds gradually over a period of years, and it is a job of a respect, and it is a job of getting blessings. And exactly opposite, when you do an IT development or IT sales, it is a job of earnings. So it also brings a prestige, but it is more towards monetary gain. So these two are different games. So if respect and applaud and contribution is your priority, then look at academics and research. And monetary gain is your priority, then look at IT sales or IT development. And you are the one who are a risk taker and see the world in a different way, then look at the business as one of your key area. So I have given you ingredients. You have to find or test yourself what ingredients you have. So based on the ingredients you have, either you can choose this job or a business or academics and research. It's all about your goal, that how you want to see your life, or where you want to reach in coming years. So it's always great to set your own life's goal. But at the age of 23, 24, when we don't know where our destiny will carry us, generally we don't create goals, and we get into a job and a job becomes tunnel, and then we continue walking in that tunnel. It's important that you take a pause, you understand that what you want to be. Don't select a career as me too kind of gesture. So my friends are getting into the Java development, I also want to get into Java. My friends are into PHP and I want to get into it. My friends are into mobile development, I want to get into it. Or my friend is in design, I want to get into it. Or some of my friends looking for MBA, I should look at it. It's not like that. You have to look at what calls you inside, how you want to see yourself coming 10 years. So one fine day I understood a theory that if I'm thinking my life as a 70-year span, so I have to divide my life into the 5-year blocks. Very interesting theory. So in each 5 year, what I have done, I have to observe here. For example, if I am at your age and into the college, I would see that I have spent 25 years, for example. So first 4 blocks are done and the 5th block is going on. Now I have to see after more 4 blocks where I want to see myself. And based on that, I have to decide my career. And based on that, I have to set my goals. So sometimes I ask business owners, why you run a business? Or why you run an IT company? The most common answer I get is paisa kamawa. So I understand we all work for a profession which gives us money, but you have to look at which profession is going to give you fulfillment and fun also. So if you're not happy inside, you will curse yourself every day before going to the college. It's important. Before going to the work. So it's important that you set your goal, create your career blocks of 5 years, so maybe 20 years next, or if you cannot visualize that, at least 10 years next, and then start carving your path. So to choose your own path may be different from your friends. So many people ask me that you are a business coach, are you an idiot? You were a product manager in an IT company, senior position, why you left it? So I said it was not my inner calling. What I found is if I can transform many companies to the bigger scale, why should I limit myself to one company? And when I can be a senior entrepreneur, why should I limit myself doing a job? So it was a courageous step for me at the age when I chose this decision and then took my career at a different route. So it happens that when you see yourself in the career blocks, you can take a decisions and change your goals. I was asked to tell you that what are the current market scenario and which are the buzzwords into the market. So the most common keyword you will find, which is a booming into the market, is called digital transformation. Now, digital transformation is a wider term which tells that all the processes which you have, which is offline, maybe working on a process, on a paper, or maybe on a legacy software, you transform it in a digital format or bring to a platform where people can reduce their burden, increase their speed and agility and accuracy, and then it also brings a lot of data storage and business intelligence or AI as one of the feature inside. So what happens is you have MIS reports coming accurately, you have statistics coming up accurately, you have automated processes. So with less manpower, you can do things. So digital transformation is nowadays a buzzword in all the sector, whether it is a banking, whether it is education, whether it is travel, whether it is a finance, any industry you look at, or pharma, everywhere digital transformation is happening. And then that is a buzzword. Within the business transformation, what happens is we automate a lot of things. So in that implementation, we find ERP coming into the picture, we find enterprise solutions coming into the picture, we find micro applications coming into the picture. So based on the business of the client or the business domain we are trying to solve, we create services, and and then we bring a solution either on application, mobile application, or on the computer. So it is a cloud-based solution. So digital transformation is one of the key buzzword you should eye. And then if you start following this hashtag on social media, specifically on LinkedIn, and then you start searching a lot of content on digital transformation on Google, you will find scholarly articles which talks what kind of transformation is going on. So you will find industry 4.0, you will find retail automation, you will find tech empowering pharma, how the world is changing with the speed of digital transformation, how manufacturing is automated, everything will be there around it. The next best word you will find, and which is a favorite of Gujaratis, and I would say many companies in Gujarat, if I want to just share a number, in Ahmedabad there are more than 9,000 registered IT firms, which has 5 employees to 2,000 employees. This is the range, and these are and this number is growing. Why? Because people who have 5-7 years of experience and understand how to work with the client, they start an IT company. And what they start with? They start with basic 2 services. One is making website, second doing e-commerce, and third making mobile applications. So this is the most common services you will find. This is the most common menu card you will find into the companies where you go for internship, summer internship or the project. So either you will be doing e-commerce into the different technologies which is available or the platforms available. So you will find huge market in India for e-commerce development companies. So either they will be working on Shopify, you will find WooCommerce, you will find Magento, you will find custom e-commerce development also. These are the platforms which are popularly used to empower retailers going online. Apart from this, there are a lot of ready solutions and the softwares available like Cart Rocket. What it does is, if you are a seller, it makes your life automatic. You just register there, upload your products, and start selling. To make such solution and pushing sellers online, this is a huge domain, and it is going to be in $1 trillion in India and across the globe also. So e-commerce is certainly very promising, and it goes hand in hand with the mobile application, because nowadays everything we buy, majorly we buy or browse on the mobile apps. Mobile app has a huge spectrum. It is also into the gaming, it is also into the virtual reality, it is also into the wearable device where our health is checked, it is also into the e-commerce, it is also into the learning of content and consuming a content, it is also covering entertainment industry on demand, it also includes food. So mobile apps have a lot of applications into the different domain and industry. Now even banks also work with the mobile apps. So mobile app again is a thing which you implement to automate one particular industry's problem. Why? Because the end customer want everything on hand in their mobile screen. So this market is also booming. And nowadays, earlier it was an era where people were making a mobile application either in Android or iOS. But specifically input for the IT students, nowadays there is a cross-platform development is happening. When you say cross-platform, I am referring to technologies like Flutter. So what happens is you make one time and that code can function irrespective of the technology mobile phone is using. So whether it is Apple device or any Android device, the same code will function on the both. There are also a lot of new stuff coming which is equivalent to giving equal experience to a mobile app, which is called PWA, which is called Progressive Web App. If to give you a short example, if you open redbus.in, it will ask you in your mobile browser, it will ask you to add an icon on the screen. It is not a mobile app, it is a progressive web app. It looks like an app, but which is running on your browser. So app-like experience with the progressive web apps. So that is also a booming thing, where because business owners are not spending a lot of money, still they are gaining a lot of knowledge out of it, or you can say a lot of business out of it. So think about it. If you are choosing a career specifically in IT, so you can choose in this. And then there are some fancy things for which you will find less number of resources or the less number of companies in Ahmedabad or in Gujarat. Certainly you will find companies in India, which is AR, VR, AI, robotics and ML. These are the buzzwords. But if you look at specifically at Gujarat, it is a money crunching market. So the things which is in a trend and which you can sell faster and more are focused by most of the IT companies. So you will find digital transformation, e-commerce, mobile apps, and PWS and UI UX, which is designing as a core offering in most of the IT companies. You will find lesser AR, VR, AI, mobile, machine learning, robotics, and cloud computing. Only few companies who have a great strength in doing it is doing it as an offering. Otherwise, you will find many companies doing this area of work either in Gurgaon or in Hyderabad or in Bengaluru or Chennai. There is or Pune. So there is a huge market there. So don't mind traveling, don't mind going into the such cities if you want to create your great career in this. It's not necessary that you stay into the city where you have grown. I think sometimes to create or to achieve your goal, you have to migrate to some other cities where such offerings are available. There is an interesting point which is generally not opted as a career by many of IT pass outs, which is big data and business intelligence solutions. What it does, it accumulates all the data and then create a intelligence report out of it, which helps business owners take effective decisions. So if somebody is having acumen where they can understand business models, interpret data with the intelligence and bring out the MIS, which is more effective. You can also think about becoming a data analyst or data scientist or get into the BI. So I have found that some of the students, even when I used to teach in college in 2005-6, two of the students who were there in the class, they have become a data scientist, and then now they are working in BI in USA, and they are doing amazingly great. So if you have a kid of doing something different and then at different scale, you can always choose your career and destiny into that. Apart from this, you will find many more things. I am not talking about languages, otherwise this slide or page will run short, because there are a lot of things. But in Gujarat, if you ask me which language is working more, which is Laravel, PHP, and Minstack. So if you want to get assured job that okay, in a year time I learn this, and if I want to assure my job, which technology I should look at. So I would say blindly go for Minstack, JavaScript platforms, look at Laravel, and then if you want to go on a platform which is ready solutions, look at WordPress and Magento. So I think your job is assured. When I used to study into the college, when I came out, it was an era where people were saying that okay, IT में सभी पढ़ के आए, उसका career का क्या होगा? Now 2010 onwards, the world has changed. If you have come out in IT, you are one of the most eligible bachelor. Why? Because your 5-figure salary is assured, and in 3-4 years span, you will be touching near to 1 lakh rupee salary. If you are either going in a developer life or you are going on a business side or salesman side. So you can think about creating a great career with a great reward as well, because you have put a lot of effort in joining into the college, which works on the merits, and then you have put a lot of work studying 52 subjects in 5 years. So it should not go in vain. Make most out of it and look at which industry or stream works for you. Now the best part, people have a common question: have we studied that at a college? Answer is no, because some of the things are taught in the syllabus, but education industry does not keep the pace with the current market trends, because market or IT industry keeps on changing every month, rather I would say, and the trend keeps on changing it every 6 months. So it is not that fast that government can change the syllabus of studies. So it's your job to learn it. It's your job that you understand what is the market trend. You have to find and keep your senses on, and you have to understand that okay, if I want to build a career in either of this, what are the avenues available? What kind of certification I can do online or offline? How I can find the right company getting into this, and then you can create your career into that. What you should do instead of when I was in the college, I also used to create a complaint that I'm not studying a subject where I want to create my career. But later on, I understood that in the college, I learned my basics and fundamentals, which has made me what I am. And then it is my job to build a career on that. So it's important that you get into the awareness mode that what all options are there. First. Second, you have time. So you start investing your time and energy into the area where you want to excel yourself. One fine day I learned, or one fine day, one intelligent guy told me that in a month, if I complete a book on one particular topic, in a year I will complete 12 books in that. And over 5 years, I will complete 60 books on one topic. 60 books means 60 authors who have done research. I am interacting with their mind and improving my knowledge in that area. So if you look at 70 years life, 5-year time is a small. So in that time, what I can do is I can make excellent career in one particular thing. So it's important that you keep patience and you keep taking action towards your vision. So whatever goal you create, you continue working on that with the patience and work rigorously along with your studies. If you are in a last semester or you are just about to get out of it, or you are in a 4th year or 3rd year, you have to choose where you want to get into, and then you have to start taking actions along with your studies. So when I was in a KS, I understood that I want to get into a job which is a fancy one, which is business analyst. At that time, in 2003-04, business analyst was a new designation into the market, specifically in Ahmedabad outsourcing industry. So I thought I should get into that profile. So what I had to find is to become this, what I need to learn. So first thing I found is communication skills. Second, what I found is analytical skills. Third, I understood that it needs MIS. It also needs software engineering and SAD as one of my core strength. So I started working on those subjects, and it helped me get the job which I wanted. I went for some more than 20 interviews to find the right company where I want to start. So instead of it needs a lot of patience to find the right destiny, but that you have in your hand. So don't get into hurry mode and pick up the job which is not in connection with your vision or a goal. It's not required that you always choose high paying job or big brands as a job. You look at that the company which is giving you an opportunity to work for the area which you are inclining to create your career. You get into such companies. So it is your personal responsibility to make your own career. So you are the only one who is responsible for making your career. Later on, you can have chances to blame others that, okay, college has not taught this, or it was an option, I have never studied this, or nobody told me that this can be a career. Nobody told me that apart from developer, I can be something else also. I was not mature enough to understand what is there into the market. These all are the excuses. But if you want to drive your own life, what you have to do is you have to take a responsibility and start looking at how you want to excel your career. If I talk about my story here, it's a bit strange and weird, but it's interesting also. I think it may help you get motivation. I stood into the board in 12th in commerce. Everybody, like when I passed out from the 10th, everybody said go for science. I took commerce. While I was studying commerce, I thought that I will be a CA and MBA. But at that time, Y2K problem was there, and I was driven to get into MSCIT. And then after completing MSCIT, I just don't came out as an MSCIT student. I came out with MSCIT with masters in design and also gold medal in communication and advertising in 2004 to find my right destiny. And then I started my career as a part-time faculty and part-time appearing for MBA entrance. And then I found my full-time career as a business analyst. I worked for various companies as a business analyst, product manager. And then my inner calling was there that something is going certainly wrong in the outsourcing companies. And I found that, okay, I can transform people's life or help different companies grow bigger. Because wherever I was working, I always used to find problems. It's not because that I'm a problem child or a problem creator. I used to find a gap, and I always have eyes to solve with the processes. So that led me to the career where I started my company, which is called Pragmatic Consultancy. And what I did is I started helping IT companies grow from small to big. And then I started taking companies from all different domains, which I have mentioned in the previous slides, which has created two things. One, lot of satisfaction, where I found that, okay, I'm doing things right, and also resulted into the lot of wealth also. And along with this, because of this wealth, I also now in a capacity to empower startups. I am helping them grow with my wisdom, and also I have founded 2 other startups. So instead of just being a professor, what I found is I am a teacher still by heart, guiding IT companies and having my own 2 startups as well. And right now I am 39, but I'm very happy with what I have done. Exactly opposite, if you look at all my classmates have their own stories. I would say many of my classmates have created great career into the IT outside India and also in India. Some have started their own business and they are doing fantastically great, and I'm proud of all of them. But everybody has their own story. I want you to create your own story and decide for your life. I would say tips to become a successful, you have to first define what success means to you. So for somebody, having 1 lakh salary is a success. For somebody, it is $1 million company is a success. For somebody, getting few rounds of investment in the startup and becoming billionaire is a success. And for somebody like me, maybe having applaud and transforming people's life and teaching would be a success. So you have to decide what is success for you. You have to make, the way I said, make a career blocks of 5 years and decide how you want to see yourself. Don't mind changing your plan. So one thing people have always hesitation. If I change my industry, I have to restart. Don't worry, it's not a restarting. To climb a new heights of a mountain, you have to get down from the current peak where you are. So for example, if I am a mountaineer and I'm on one particular peak, and I say I'm having great career, but I want to go to the another peak which is higher than that, I have to get down from the current peak and climb again to the next peak. So it is not pausing a career or restarting. It is eyeing something big and changing for it. So it's okay to change your ways to reach to the right destination. What you need is a perseverance. Many times you will fall down, you will find career blocks, you will find issues in your current company. So I would say no company is perfect. Don't leave your companies just because you don't find right people around, or don't find right treatment. You have to look at how you are building your career and how you are helping companies grow. Keep your morals and ethics high. I would say Generation Z, which is you guys, are having comparatively higher morals than the my generation. I would openly say that, and it is not wrong. I would say it is a psychological bifurcations. You can always find millennials versus Generation Z. Millennials were the quick experimenting guys and digital guys, and then what world has right now as a .com or the digitization is because of the impatient people like us. What you guys are, Generation Z, which is patient, having high morals, and you take steady steps. So I want you to continue your personality and be a great global citizen. If you want to travel across the globe for working or creating your career, it's fine. Because right now, in the new normal after COVID, most of the companies are working in a remote mode. So whether you are working for Indian company or foreign company, it is same. So don't just limit yourself in finding a right company in India. You can think about finding a right company across the globe as well, and they are going to accept you with the open arms. And sitting in Ahmedabad or in Gujarat, if you are getting compensation in dollars, nothing wrong. So think about a bigger vision. Think about a career which is challenging enough. Think about a career which excites you. Think about a career which you can build over a period of time. There is no shortcut, or you will not find early success just like that. You will have to spend a lot of time in creating your path. So think about it. Make sure you decide your plan and work on your plan. And it's always fine to fail. The best thing you can give yourself is freedom to fail. Keep growing yourself. It's important to understand in your life if you want to grow and excel. This is a formula of excellence. Good is not good when better is possible. So wherever you are, don't feel that I have done enough. You have to always ask yourself, can I do something more? If the answer is yes, then go for the next best destination. Because if you are satisfied with the good, you can never be a better. So keep on striving for the success and excellence, and this is the only formula you can have for creating excellent career in your life. On screen you can find my social media handles. I write a blog on e-commerce and I run a company called Pragmatic. And then if you have any questions, I will be open to that, because last 10 minutes we were supposed to have Q&A. So I'm just concluding my talk in time. I would be more than happy to receive your queries and answer. If you have some personal query which you cannot ask in public, you can DM me in either of this. I'll be more than happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was some very valuable advice, and you taught us some very important lessons today. And we, on behalf of KS School of Business Management, we thank you heartfully for attending this session today and taking out your time for us.
Yeah.
So, for the Q&A round, sir, I have some questions from BA students. That is, that world is now moving towards an AI ML analytics is becoming a more important stream. So
Hmm.
how an MBA finance graduate can excel in business analytics? Does he have to become a data scientist, or he need to acquire skills in big data as well?
So it is a question from MBA student.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you one simple answer. I have seen that MBA students act as a subject matter experts when it comes to ERP implementation. They understand business and understand the business processes, and they help IT people implement it. Now, to become a data scientist, or you can say data analyst, uh, even though you are from MBA, if you are very good in OR, operation research, and you are very good in mathematical tools like SPSS, you can further scale your career into the data analysis. What you cannot do is coding of a BI tool or data analysis tool, but what you can be a user who can interpret the data and present to the interpreter.
So just to follow you back on this question, does an MBA finance graduate need to learn data science?
Not sure. Most of the time, MBA finance students, specifically who are coming from Gujarat, they will find jobs in, I would say, uh, BFSI industry. And the most common jobs which is available is selling casa, or they have a sales target to increase the premium. Only few are the ones who have extra domain knowledge get into the analytical back office job. Most of the otherwise, I would say, majority of students get into uh, BFSI sales job. So it depends how much patience you have. You can always learn, but so after MBA, you have to study for it to get into it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Another question is that where do you see, sir, the work from home culture going towards?
Work from home is doing fantastic. I have seen IT companies specifically, as we are looking at excelling career in IT. IT companies have not stopped their business; they have rather improved their productivity. People are saving time in transportation, so they are able to produce more. And most of the companies which I am interacting with, they have increased their revenue flow in last 2 months. So I think work from home is going to work fantastically. And the important thing is if we learn communication skills and if you do asynchronous communication, we can work with the global teams. That's the reason in the slide also I said, look at being a global citizen, look at the opportunities even in an earlier career that how you can join foreign companies also. Don't limit yourself to just local companies and going into the office and doing it. Work from home is going to go fantastic.
Sir, moving towards the next question, one of our students has asked that which and how will business transformed by information technology enabled services post COVID-19 era? Which of the businesses, how will they transform via information technology enabled services, sir?
So right now I can see the biggest impact in two industries very straight, and I think you all will agree. Rather three. One is entertainment industry has changed upside down. Now you are looking at all the entertainment available on demand. So Disney, Hotstar, or you can say Netflix. All
Yes,
are
sir.
entertainment industry has changed. You look at major movie stars are having their direct shows on this application. So one is that. Second, I can see that banking have asked customers to do online transactions. That is second. Third, I would say drastic change in education. The way
Yes.
we are in KS and doing webinar. Amazing, right? So similarly, IIMs have started online courses earlier, which were in-premises courses. And then the fourth, I would say retail. Even the small retailers are now thinking about starting e-commerce. So these are the four industries I can see have a direct impact.
Sir, and just a last question I would like to tease you with. Sir, can you explain our audience that what is 5G and what it has in terms of potential in changing the world?
Can you tell again?
What is 5G and what potential it possesses in terms of changing the world?
So I would say we all are consuming content digitally, and then the digital content consumption has grown like hell. India is having highest number of mobile users, I would say, who
Yes,
are
sir.
spending a lot of time in data. India is the only country where I would say the plans are available based on data, not based on the talk time. Now,
Yeah.
when you look at this market, 5G spectrum being available to the end customer is a technical infrastructure problem. But once it is there, all the business will go into digital model and people will flourish their business for sure. But the point is, only one company has got rights for it, and then making it available to 139 million people is a bit tough job. So I think some part of India is still struggling with 4G. So 5G is going to take time, but when it is there, it will flourish.
Yes, sir. So that's all on our behalf, sir. And sir, we would hope that you would be keep staying connected to us, and we could be hopeful that we would be able to organize more sessions with you after your.
Hello.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We would like to thank you for today's session, and
Eh, it's
sir,
my
thank
job
you.
to it's my
Yes.
job to deliver back to the institute where I have studied. If it would have been offline, people would have a different level of fun. I would have cracked joke in local language also. But right now, it is a global audience is looking at it, so I had to respect to the language. Second, yeah, I would say to a KS student, be grateful to the college and then create your own path. That is the only last message I have for today. And have fun.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Shall we end?
Yeah, sir. Once Jinali will be coming, she will be
Sure.
in the meeting today.
Meanwhile, if you have any questions coming in from the participant, or if you have any questions to ask.
Sir, one question on my behalf.
Yeah, please.
I would like you to entertain with this. What do you think about telemedicine growing as a viable option in pharma sector?
Yes, certainly
Uh,
yes.
it's changing very much. Pharma sector as well.
Correct.
Can
So
you
I have
give you? Yes.
I have in person seen the growth of telemedicine, and then I have seen that even the medicine delivery apps doing amazing. Earlier, there was
Yes.
a problem. I would say personal my users. Earlier, I used to think about which medicine for what. Then we have to ask doctor. Now I can ask Google, and sites like 1mg and NetMeds will tell me why this medicine, what are the side effects, and which are the other brands which is also available in the same prescription. And then if there's a surgery or a chronic disease, people can go for tele-prescription, and telemedicine is a lot of availability is there. So it is a huge market, and it is growing very fast. And the people like who are traveling for work or staying in a different cities, they don't know their family doctor. So
Yes.
telemedicine is the only choice they have. So
Mhm.
it's working fantastic in India, and I would say it is going to grow manifold.
Yes, sir. It is also a very viable way to counter shortages of doctors and nurses in India.
Yes, certainly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Janali is over here. Finally.
Okay.
Okay, sir. I would be ending
Sure.
the meeting today, and we
Yeah.
would hopeful that we would be organizing another session like this on your behalf.
Sure.
And thank you for attending this session today and taking out the time for us.
Welcome, and I'm happy to contribute. Thank you.